Hello, we are solving puzzles again. The last one we did, we were on holiday for in Spain. This time we are back in the magical office of wonder. A couple of weeks ago we were in Spain where we solved the Delta puzzle. This one, which is good because we now know that our puzzle solving skills aren't limited to this room. So today we're solving the Hanayama cylinder puzzle. This is a level 4 puzzle out of a possible 6, and if history tells us anything, it's that level 4s usually take us around 30, 40, 50 minutes to solve. Hopefully we can do it quicker than that. Hopefully it's a fun puzzle to solve. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so here it is, the cylinder puzzle. Now, if we look at the box, I'm actually surprised at this. It's made up of 5 bits, which I think is the most bits that we've had in terms of puzzles that we've solved so far. So this is what it is at the minute, obviously, and this is what we're aiming for. So we've got the 2 rings on the outside, and then on these, oh yeah, of course, 3 bits on top or in the middle. So where do we start? We can't pull it apart. We've got a little bit of a gap in there that we can see. We can twist these independently of each other. Unfortunately, they don't just screw straight off, which would be nice and easy. Slight bit of movement up and down. Okay, so immediate thought was that this would immediately line up with sort of this bit here, but it doesn't. It's off to whatever degree that is. So it's split up into thirds, but it's not exactly opposite, or the third that it's attached to isn't exactly opposite it. There's a bit more movement on that one than there is on that one. And my first thought is that we solve this somehow by moving these up and down and also twisting these around. So I'm guessing there's, I don't know, maybe some sort of maze on the inside on these ones, and we have to work those bits out. Because in terms of how it's solved, it must be that these bits come straight up or straight down. So let's work a little bit towards that theory. Nothing seems to be catching as we twist these bits around. Oh, see there already we've got a bit more of a gap there. I feel like something clicked then. Turn that, there's definitely something that moves in there. And that is a much, much bigger gap in there than it was. So, early progress. I'm trying to pull it out, pull these 2 apart and then twist. We don't get any movement there. So I wonder what's stopping that from twisting now. It's quite hard to keep track of which bit moves and the most and which bit doesn't, with them not being exactly opposite each other and with them being identical. Those clicks make me convinced that there's something with, or that I've made at least a little bit of progress in that. Something catches there. Oh, you see that there? We've moved again. Is that? Oh, we've moved a long, long way. Now that's interesting, because that essentially ends there. Now is that step 1? This is now stuck spinning the whole thing, but this one is still quite independent. Now I don't want to lose that, because I feel like that must be step 1. Now if we keep spinning, does anything happen? See, what I mean in here is, it's like we've got to the next level. It's like this shape again. It's like it's got to that next level and it's just duplicated itself. So we're 1 step out, I think. Now the right thing is if one of the other bits goes the other way. So let's try the same thing. So the strategy with getting to this bit, whoa, we don't want to push that back in, was just pushing that out and turning that at the same time. So this bit was sliding in and out a second ago, now it's not. So I think maybe the bit that we're catching on is actually the bit that lets that bit in and out. I'm hoping this isn't a puzzle where we have to go 2 steps forward and then 1 step back to go forwards, because I really don't want to carry on without this bit pushed out. So yeah, I feel like there's something catching, similar to like it was before this bit came out. I know this is where the good news, but before we got to this point, both of these could be in separate places, but now because one's essentially locked, it means that the variety of positions that we've got to be in is essentially more than halved, because now we can only twist this one and push and pull on these as much as we like. So in theory, if it is a similar thing to get to the next stage, then it should be a lot easier to get to the next stage than it was to get to this position, purely because there's less positions that it can possibly get into. So the only place where there's a click when we're twisting and pushing these in and out is on pushing this one down and when we're around here. It's the only place that gets caught or seems like it can go anywhere. I'm not sure how we got this bit out, but I think however we got this bit out, we need to do the same thing to get this bit to go that way. It definitely feels like there's something to do, or like this is the next step around here. So to get to that first bit, it's like we just line these two up in the right spot and then it just slides out. Maybe I'm being too small-minded, maybe I've convinced myself too much that this is the next step. Maybe it's not. I'm really struggling to make any progress now. I feel like I've tried every possible combination of pushing and twisting, and the only place that it actually catches is here, but I've tried it for about the last 20 minutes and it does not seem to be going anywhere. So I feel like if I hate to go backwards, but I feel like if I go back with this, wherever it is, there, then maybe we can understand how that bit came out a bit better, and then use that to help us get a little bit further from there. So now I forgot that these two actually move independently of each other now as well. It's not just one moves and this bit is locked in by all these bits. I'll try and get this right, but it was this bit that came out. So if I need to get back to the position I was in, I'm pretty sure it was that one that was the one that came out. Or maybe it doesn't have to be that one that goes first. Maybe that was the problem. I don't even know which way it came out now. Just had a quick glance at the box and it says, if there is one hint that we can provide, it is to go about it as if you were cracking open a safe. Which is quite interesting. I mean, I guess these dials do feel very much like you are cracking a safe. Now, does that help us at all? So, I mean, it's quite obvious that we have to spin these and get them in the right position, and there's something on the inside that has to line up. Does that now mean if it's talking about a safe that we have to go this way and then it opens up, and then we go the other way and then it opens up a bit more? See how that dropped then? I'm trying to use gravity now. My fingers are actually, it's hard to push and twist at the same time. So I'm trying to let them just drop in. Now it might be too tight for things to fit through like that, but I'm going to give my fingers a rest. Right. So this is the position at which that one drops out. Now what? I'm assuming this is the same one that's dropped through. So, well, let's test that actually. So, if it is only this one, if this is the one that dropped through first, and if this is the only one that can drop through, it means it's because these two things are lined up right now. So if we push that up and keep these two bits in line. That's interesting as well, it can go both sides. So I'm trying to now keep these aligned, move around to see if it has to be this one that opens up. Now was that the same one? I have no idea. What I'm testing right now is where they both line up. See, at this point it can go this way, but it can't go back this way. Okay, so we now know that it's not just one bit that can fall through first, which now means that either two pieces are exactly the same, or all three are, which means, I think, that which bit comes down first doesn't matter, or does matter. This is tough. This is very tough. Right now I'm trying to figure out whether this bit drops down and up. I think I've done this one and I've done this one. I'm just trying to figure out whether this one can drop as well. It really is like opening a safe. At the minute I'm trying to turn these until I can feel or hear something sort of drop into place. See there, when it turns, I know that something is lined up. So my theory is right now the bottom one's lined up. Let's twist this top one until we get something similar. And you see how this one's dropped a little bit there. Oh man! We made no progress. That's an hour gone so far. This is going to be a long slog. I can feel it, but we will get it open. Okay, so we're back to here. And what I do notice, maybe it's just this one, maybe it's not just this one, is here we've got like the gap inside here, whereas here it comes out. Don't believe that I've seen this bit yet. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen the word cylinder. Can you see that in there? Or you can see the start of the word cylinder just in there. So we're gonna stick with this side coming out first. I'm gonna play around with this because I'm pretty sure I've not seen that word and I've not seen this shape coming out yet. So it seems to get caught in exactly that same spot. There's a little bit of movement up and down, but it seems to be caught when we're trying to pull it apart in that position. Oh, see, this is now a first. I've gone the other way in terms of letting this out, but this is the first time we've had something out and this top one's been free to move. Oh yes, so as I was trying to get this one back, I noticed this one bobbing up and down, and we've played around with the positions, and now we've got that one down there as well. So that one's just come down, which means the gap in this one must be here. Let's see, now this one doesn't move again, independently of these two. So maybe right now, I feel like the fact that this one could move independently of these three bits in the inside, I think that was important to getting this second bit down. But now that bit has become immobile again. So does that mean that we got this one has to be the first one that comes down, but because we couldn't then move this as when this was the second one that came down, does that mean that this one is the second one that comes down and then that one comes down after that, or some sort of other order from that? So right now I'm going to go backwards and put this one back up, see if I can line it up so that this one drops down, and then see if we get movement here independent of these three. That's the current thinking. Excellent. Oh yes, that one just dropped through twice. Yes, sir. We're making progress. So that's good. So that can come all the way down and all the way up there. Now what does that give us? It shows us a little bit of the inside. So that is the Hanayama bit there, you can see that. Right, so that means that these bits are lined up. Either this bit or this bit is lined up somehow. And the good news is, this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. So before we had this bit drop down second, but that meant that this bit couldn't move independently of these three bits. So my tactic was then to bring this back to the top and try and drop this one down with a hope that it would twist. And it does. The bonus is that it's dropped down, that one's dropped down even further, and we've got movement here. So yes, we're on the right path. We're on the right path. It's interesting actually. You can see the grooves down here as well as to what's stopping things from twisting. That is brilliant. Ah, see now how that one is twisting into that one. Ah, that's one bit out. Damn, this is cool. Right, that's one bit out. That's the Hanayama bit out. Are these two bits just going to come out quite easily now? Let's see. I feel like is that going to drop now? No, it's not. So, the ledges around here, the lips on here are fascinating. See how there's a gap in that one there. So that one can drop through there, and we've got the second bit out. And then that bit comes off the top, and that bit just comes out the middle. Oh my god, that's 1 hour and 27 minutes. Jesus, that is good, but that is bloody satisfying getting that one open. So, while we've got it apart, I'm trying to analyze how this opened and how this works. Now these two spinny bits, the safe locky bits, these two are very simple. So you can see there's a lip on the inside of there apart from on 1/3 of it. And it's exactly the same for this bit here. So if we're looking it down this way, you've got a lip and then 1/3 of it missing. Now, to get to the first step, I think you pretty much just need to line up, maybe this way around, line it up so the 1/3 missing bits of the lip just line up. Now, what makes this hard is that these are solid and you're doing this completely blind. Now, if we look at these 3 bits, you've got 2 bits, these 2 bits which are exactly the same, and this bit which is slightly different. Now, the difference is that one groove there which doesn't have anything blocking it on each side, whereas these bits do. So these 2 bits, if this bit drops down first, then you're stuck because those lips then end up getting caught on these 2 bits here. And the same, it gets caught on this bit here. This bit is the only place that does not happen. Now I said at one point when one bit dropped down that it essentially looked like that. And I said this is a bit that I've not recognized yet. Now that was the right bit to come down first, but it had to be this bit dropping down into here, into like dropping down this way rather than coming up. And because you've got no barrier on each side to this, the lips can then pass through there, and then you can work your way down. So I'll try and hold this together and show you how it works. So if we're here, we first of all need to get this bit to drop down to here. Now you can see how that then lines up with the grooves in here and the space in there. Now when that space gets dropped out and eventually we drop this one, the second bit then drops down to there. So we end up in this position. So we've got this one that's still where it was, this one that dropped down first, and this one which had to be the one that dropped down first, and then this one that drops all the way down to like the second level. And then what that does is, we saw this as it was opening, that bit then has the space to twist into there, and then that bit just falls out and we're out. And then it's pretty much just working it around so that the lips are out of the way, and then we're apart. Now, I'm impressed that I've figured that out just by looking at it as an open puzzle. So the fact that it's all covered up and you have to do all that pretty much blind, not knowing that that works, this is tough. This was a very, very tough puzzle. And I think putting it back together is going to be a little bit simpler now that I understand how it opens. Now let's not jinx ourselves and let's have a go at putting it back together. Jesus, that was tough. That took about an hour and a half in total to solve that one. Took about 10 minutes to put it back together. And I took about 10 minutes to sort of study it and figure out how it opened in between those two things as well. Now, without a doubt, out of all 10, this is the 10th puzzle we've done. Out of all 10, this is without doubt my favorite. The way this one opens when you finally get there is so beautiful. How each bit just falls into place and then how it's got to turn around the corner and then it drops out is beautiful. It really is beautiful. I absolutely love this puzzle. Now halfway through I read on the box that it says it's like opening a safe or something along those lines. Yeah, if there is one hint we can provide, it is to go about it as if you were cracking open a safe. Now essentially what that means is that you have to open it blind. You turn these dials like you would a safe. I've never opened a safe like that, to be honest. I've never cracked a safe anyway. But I imagine the feeling and how you have to do it with sort of hearing and sensing movements on the inside. That's exactly how you've got to open this one up. Now I showed you in between opening it, or I was getting it, opening it and then putting it back together, how this one works. Is beautiful. How you come up with these sorts of things is absolutely beyond me. This really is a beautiful, beautiful puzzle. In terms of looks, in terms of feel, in terms of how it opens, this is amazing. I'm really excited about this puzzle. So where does it rank? That is the big question. Now the ranking is in terms of difficulty. It's not in terms of which one is my favorite. Otherwise this one would be straight to this end, or the top, the most favorite end. Now, so the ranking is in terms of difficulty. Now, I think this is going to be tough. I've already got an idea of where I think I'm going to put it. Now, there's absolutely no question that we are tougher than the loop, tougher than the news, tougher than the cake, delta, donuts, nutcase, dial. It's harder than all those without a doubt, in my opinion. The question is, where does it come in the top 3 in terms of difficulty? Now we've got the padlock. We showed you the proper solution last week for that one. If you missed that one, then check that out. And the vortex puzzle. Now time taken, let's analyze how long it took for us to get open each one individually first. This one took about an hour and a half. Now the padlock puzzle took about an hour and a half, 2 hours over the course of 3 days. But the caveat with that one is that it was the first ever puzzle that we'd solved like this. So no experience of doing any of the others, no possible ideas of how it opened. That one's a little bit different, I think. Because that was the first, I feel like I'm allowed some sort of leeway. Or I feel like because it was the first, that's one of the reasons it took so long. The vortex puzzle, I think, took about 3 hours from memory serving. That was in over 1 day, but in several stints. So this one took an hour and a half. This one took about an hour and a half, 2 hours over the course of 3 days, but it was the first puzzle we solved. And the vortex puzzle took about 2 or 3 hours, I think. So, based on that, I think this one is going to be in second place. It's harder than the padlock puzzle, but not quite on a par with the vortex. Now with this one being a level 4 puzzle, that's actually quite surprising. The padlock is a level 5, we've got a level 6 nutcase here. So we've got a level 6 as the hardest one, but a level 4, and this is out of 6 if you didn't know that, so level 6 is the hardest that it gets, as hard as it gets. So we've got a level 4 in second place. We've got a level 4 beating 2 level 6s, and I guess, yeah, more level 4s. So the cylinder puzzle is gonna go in second place, just in here. So there we go. I absolutely loved solving that puzzle. The satisfaction at the end of it is brilliant. Feels good. Anyway, 10 puzzles tried, 10 puzzles solved. So thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, a fraction of the amount that I enjoyed actually solving this puzzle. If you did, please click like, and if you want to watch some of the other videos, then they are here to click on. And if you want to see more every single week and be notified of when new videos are live, then click my face here and subscribe. Thank you very much for being here, and peace! Loved that one. Loved it.